Hey guys, how you doing? This is Rick here with 2 Years to Jam. In the next set of lessons that we're going to be working on, we're going to be talking about rhythm and strumming. It's the hardest part about learning how to play guitar in your first couple of years of learning how to do stuff. You learn how to play a G chord, you learn how to play your C chord, and you don't know how to make them sound like all of that kind of strumming that you hear in songs and stuff like that. Really, a lot of that comes from your strumming hand and not necessarily just from like working really hard with your left hand. They both matter, but it's really important to make sure that you understand how to count. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next lesson right here. So the very first thing that I want to explain during the lesson is how to actually count eighth note strumming. Okay, so if this is the beat that I'm using right here, what I want to do is I want to count over that, a very specific counting pattern. So I want to first get started by just counting the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 every time I'm clapping. 1, 2, 3, 4. But then what I want to do is I want to add what's called the upbeat to that. So what I want to do is I want to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'll do that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, it's really important that you learn how to count eighth notes because that's how you're going to learn how to strum the guitar. And we're going to be using exercises like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and my arm is going to have to actually mimic what I'm counting and what I'm hearing in my head when I'm, playing over whatever the beat is, whether it's a metronome or a drum machine or, something that you're using to keep time. So we're going to get started with the next set of rhythm strumming right now. Here we go. We're going to do 6 different strumming patterns, and I'm going to explain what they look like, and I'm going to explain how to play each of them. The first one that I call pattern number 1 is a set of 4 eighth notes. This is played by strumming down, up, down, up. And for each one of these strums that I'm doing, it's worth a half of a beat. So I'm basically playing 1 and 2 and. So if our beat is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and my playing is going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's 2 of pattern 1 sitting side by side each other. Pattern number 2 looks like a quarter note and 2 eighth notes. This is played by strumming down, skipping the strings on the way back up, and then strumming down, and then up again, making contact. Once again, I'm strumming down, skipping the strings on the way up, and then full contact on the way down, and then back up again. This one's counted like this. 1 and 2 and. 2 of them together are going to sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Pattern number 3 looks like 2 eighth notes and a quarter note. This is played by strumming down, up, down again, and then you skip the final contact on your way back up again. So once again, it's down, and then up, and then down, and then the motion of the strum but no contact. This one's counted like this. 1 and 2 and. Once again, 1 and 2 and. So pattern number 3, 2 of them together for 4 beats will sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Pattern number 4 looks like an eighth note next to a dotted quarter note. This pattern sounds like this when you play it. You strum down, and then you strum up, and then the next 2 motions with your arm are both skipping the strings. You want to keep your arm in the same tempo as you do when you're doing the strums. You don't want to go 1 and 2 and. That's not the idea. Your arm stays even the entire time. So once again, this one is strummed down and up, and then there's a skip and another skip. I'll count these. 1 and 2 and. This one is strummed 1 and two, and. Two of pattern 4 side by side with 4 beats will sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Strumming pattern number 5 is the exact opposite of what pattern 4 looks like, in that the dotted quarter note comes first and then the 8th note is at the end. So this is strummed down, then you skip going up, you skip going back down again, and then you do a final strum up for that last 8th note. Once again, you're strumming down, a skip, another skip, and then up. The counting for pattern 5 sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. 2 of pattern 5 side by side for a 4-beat count sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the last 8th note strumming pattern for number 6 looks like an 8th note, a quarter note, and then another 8th note. This is strummed the following way. Down, up, skip, up. Once again, down, up, skip, up. The counting for this sounds like this. 1 and 2 and. Once again, 1 and 2 and. 2 of pattern 6 side by side for 4 beats will sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Before finishing this lesson, I want to explain how important it is to practice these strumming patterns slowly, evenly, and really, really learning how they relate to what the beat is. It's really hard to try to learn how to play a song like you want to try to play songs where you're playing things fast and consistently. You have to break the parts. You have to break the different things apart that you're doing, like learning your chords, learning how to switch from one chord to another chord. And then also learning how to make sure that your strumming sounds nice and even and you're balancing it out, whether it's 1 and 2 and. We're going to do a lot of exercises. Stay tuned for more exercises that you can follow along with. All right, thanks a lot. Let me know if you have any questions.